Hi, I'm Steven.
And I'm Steve.
This is Cherry Knoll Whiskey Reviews. Today we are finishing up our E.H. Taylor kind of exploration for now. We kind of only, no, we do only have 3 of the E.H. Taylor bottles. Sadly, I had the opportunity to buy a single barrel last year for $100, but I was on kind of a time crunch, so I was like, oh, I'll come back tomorrow, and apparently as soon as I left, someone else came in and bought the remainder 3 that were on the shelf all at one time.
Missed it by that much.
Yeah, so that was a bit of a disappointment for myself, but yeah, it is what it is. So instead, we are going to do a single barrel.
Nice.
So I think this is the only non-100 proof offering from E.H. Taylor. I'm not sure if any of the other specialty ones like the 18-year marriage or the tornado or any of the other ones were proofed higher, but you know, the small batch and the rye so far have been all bottled and bond at 100 proof.
Both 100.
So
what is this one? I know it says proof varies by bottle, but is there any way of knowing what this bottle actually is?
Yeah, so they hand write them on here.
Oh,
so
cool.
this one is 129 proof.
Nice.
So what I thought was 116 proof when I was telling Steve we were going to do this
me.
one, it is quite the opposite of a nice low proof.
I'm gonna make my prediction right now. You're gonna absolutely love it, and I'm gonna say it's good, but it's too much for me. That's exactly what's gonna happen in this video.
You got a little bit of water to proof it down for yourself?
I do. Yep. I might be using that.
Yeah, so we'll see if 129 proof is just too much.
Yeah.
It's got a nice dark color to it.
It does. I was going to say that. I normally, whenever I say something about the color, I'm never like 100% sure that it's like I feel like it's always just my mind playing tricks on me. But this one's definitely darker.
Yeah, it's got a really nice dark caramel color to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there anything fun or interesting on the bottle?
It's green instead of what were the others? Red.
Red and orange.
Red and orange.
So orange is small batch. Red is the rye.
Normally rye is normally like a green color.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the single barrels are kind of like a peachy pink.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't see any other notable.
Nothing of interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I'm not sure if Buffalo Trace has a way or a list to be able to tell what year the single barrel was released. Like I think a lot of the Stag Juniors or Stag now, they used to just say, okay, well, this release of Stag at this proof was batch whatever. So you used to be able to look at your bottle, look at the proof, and say, okay, I've got 125.4.
Yeah.
That means I've got batch 13.
Whatever, yeah. I'll say it does not smell like 129 proof.
No, you're able to really get your nose in there.
You really are, which is shocking.
It reminds me of just a slightly proofed up version of the small batch.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. There's nothing really different about it yet.
Speaking of,
oh, is that it?
Actually, there is some differences.
This one's also been sitting for about 30 minutes.
So it's been airing out a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, this one's more like caramely.
Right. Like there's definitely caramels on the single barrel,
Yeah.
caramels and vanillas.
Yeah.
I don't know where we think we're going. He just wants to sit on my head.
You got a parrot dog.
Right.
I feel like this one feels more, like it smells more burnt.
Yeah. A lot more barrel influence, maybe. Like a char.
I don't know if it's char that I'm smelling or just like a more rich caramel.
Like a super burnt butter caramel.
What are you eating?
Chewing cud. So what are you eating?
Nothing.
You want to smell this one? Yeah, that one's a little bit stronger.
All right.
Yeah, I'm thinking that maybe with it being a single barrel and such a high proof, everything, and it being a fresh crack on the bottle, like everything is so pushed together that like trying to pick out notes is difficult because they're kind of meshed and overlapping too much.
Interesting. They're like, you're saying there's just too much going on.
Right. Like I feel like there's a lot of different flavors that I could be pulling out, but they're layered on top of each other too much.
It's weird that I know exactly what you mean by that.
Yeah, because there's vanilla and there's caramels, but they're on top of each other, which makes it difficult to distinguish between them.
Yeah, it's like it's all the typical bourbon flavors, vanilla, caramel, a little bit of cherry in there, but it's also just kind of it's so meshed into just one generic almost like
they're all too tightly layered on top of each other.
Yeah, very strange.
I mean, it smells good.
It does.
Like if you were to try to quickly take a quick sniff and try to get all the flavors, it's kind of what I would imagine it to be, even though that's not how it works.
Yeah.
But I wonder how this would compare to a stag.
Yeah.
Because, it's same mash bill.
It's got to be pretty similar.
Right. Same mash bill as stag, just different warehouse, flavor profile. Not open.
It's not open. Well, I'm ready to take a sip.
You get that bug. You get that bug. Yeah, the flavor. The flavor is much like the nose. It's very stacked on top of each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's good. It tastes really good.
Yeah.
But it's like having a caramel dipped cherry with a drizzle of vanilla in a single bite.
Yeah, it's all just
right it's
there.
a explosion of all those flavors at the same time.
There's no unpacking and going back for different sips. It's just here's everything all at once. Go.
It's starting to open up.
Okay.
Like now I'm getting the oak at the finish. So it's still that cherry vanilla caramel burst, but now it's kind of finishing into oak. I've got a feeling that this is a glass that needs to have a little bit of time to open up.
Yeah, like we need to pour them and just do nothing.
Walk away for a half hour and then come back.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have to compare this to the first stag. Because from just my memory, they seem very similar.
Yeah. I'm kind of letting you take the reins on this one completely because I am not, again, I called it, but I'm really just not a huge fan of the proof. Like, give me the little...
The dropper?
The dropper. I want to add some water to it.
The Glencairn pipette?
Yes. If you can get it out.
Yeah, the oak is starting to really open up and come out.
This is a 4-drop.
But the start of it is definitely vanillas, cherries, maybe like getting into like a darker coffee or chocolate.
Coffee definitely is there. Yeah,
Like
that's definitely
a really dark roast.
Yeah.
Coffee.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm gonna add a couple of drops just to see what comes out of it. I'm surprised you didn't go for like 10 or 15 drops.
Well, I'm starting here. This is just the start. I'm gonna take a very small sip and then I might add more. Doesn't really do much to the smell, at least that much water.
I went 3 drops. See if that does anything. I'm going to say that it's going to bring out a ton of oak.
Yeah, it's almost with at least whatever four drops in that amount. We're very precise here.
Right. Probably about half an ounce.
I would think so. I assume so. Super oak forward.
Right.
Super oak heavy.
Yeah. Lifting all those oils after that first bit of water.
Yeah.
I would expect nothing less than a ton of oak.
Yeah. I'm just gonna experiment and keep going.
I mean, you got 30 proof to drop until you hit the small batch.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's quite a few drops of water. That was
not
really
a drop.
big drop.
All right, we're gonna stop there. I'm gonna say that's roughly about 12 drops.
Yeah, so the amount that I added definitely didn't water it down much.
Yeah.
It just brought things to the top. A ton of that coffee, like super dark roast coffee, and like really dark baking spices.
Yeah.
Like the cherry vanilla caramel is now in the background and kind of coming out in the finish on my palate.
Mm-hmm.
And that like initial bit is all oak and dark roast coffee.
Yeah, I get a little bit of the coffee, but it's so extreme. Like it's such extreme oak to me that it's just it's
over.
I would say it's unenjoyable.
Really?
Yeah.
Too much oak for
you.
you.
Yep. It smells with that amount of water in it. It smells like noble oak.
Kind of does.
Right?
Yeah.
It's got that like Play-Doh-y type,
right.
Like just, I guess that's oaky smell.
Yeah, I wonder if possibly they let this age longer than the 4 years.
Yeah.
Like I'd be very curious because typically, this amount of oak, even on a single barrel product, it tastes more like a 12-year oak presence. Like even on Knob Creek, which, the 12, 15, and 18, that's the oak presence I'm getting on this.
Yeah.
especially for a Buffalo Trace product.
Yeah, I'm
Like
shocked.
that's a lot of oak
Yeah.
for Buffalo Trace.
Because I feel like up until this point, I feel like I've liked every Buffalo Trace product that we've tried.
I think you've even really liked the Stag,
Yeah.
considering
Yeah.
the proof on that is
Yeah.
around about the same.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I do remember liking the Stag.
But I think the Stag had a lot more differential in the flavors. So like the cherry came out, then the vanilla, then the caramels, and
Yeah.
all that sweetness was like a flowy, consistent type flavor profile, while this is more like a punch in the face
Yeah.
or a slap of flavor.
It's definitely a punch in the face, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, between the proof and just all the flavors kind of being bundled into one big pop.
Yeah. Yep.
Like if the flavors were drawn out more, it might be my favorite high proof bottle,
Really.
just because it does have, it's got the vanilla, it's got the cherry, it's got the caramel, it's got dark coffee, and then it's got oak. But they're all just like so close together that it makes it difficult to unpack. Like it's not something that you take a sip of and it lasts a long time. It's like a quick, okay, here's all your flavors.
Right. Yeah.
So if they were drawn out more, I think it'd be more enjoyable.
Yeah. I think I agree with that. I think I personally it's just too oaky for me. It's just too high proof, too oaky for me. But yeah, I completely agree. If there was more of a balance in each specific flavor, it would be nice.
Might happen when we give the bottle some air. It might start to open up in that sense and kind of separate those flavors and add those gaps that I feel are kind of missing right now.
Yeah.
And if in the next couple of pours it does open up in that way, I think it's going to be a really amazing bottle.
Yeah, once the bottle's down to like right there.
Yeah, as soon as it gets out of that neck.
Right.
I think if it really does open up in that way, this will be one of my top
Interesting.
bourbons.
We'll have to make another video when it gets down a little further.
I'll have to share a couple glasses and continue drinking it to get it to that perfect point.
Yeah, and we'll revisit it then and see if
what we'll probably
either
do
of us have a
is,
different
as soon as it gets
opinion.
to that level, we'll compare it to one of the Stag
to the
Juniors
Stag.
that I have.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Because I think that'll be a very even comparison of just barrel proof Buffalo Trace Mash Bill 1 to itself in two different labels.
Yeah.
Like, is it the exact same thing that they're just putting in different bottles and
Calling
selling
two
at
different things.
different prices
Yeah.
and selling to different people? Or did they pick each barrel for each product because of a flavor profile that they found?
Right.
To be determined.
TBD.
And on that, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.